Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the M&K Productions Podcast. I'm your host, Mac, joined here as usual with my co-host with the most, Kristen, aka Miss Flamingo. Kristen, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. You sound so sick, you poor thing.
Yeah,
Hi.
I've been
Hi,
sick.
sweetheart.
I've been
Oh.
sick for a minute, but I'm still good. If you saw our live stream of Project X with Dom from Talking TV and Rod, I actually sound a little bit better now than I did in
Oh.
that because when we did that live stream, I couldn't breathe through my nose, but now it's just my
Oh.
throat. But I'm okay. I'm okay.
Oh. Well, virtual hugs, my guy. Oh, you poor thing. But also, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Yes, I'm old.
Yes, we're both getting old. Now
I know.
you joined the 26 club and I joined the 30 club, the Dirty 30 club.
Apply for
So
AIP, you old fuck.
we're getting there. We're getting there, but we're still chugging, talking about movies. We can't stop. But I just wanted to say a couple announcements. You not only had a birthday, but also our good friend Shane Conto. So happy birthday to Shane. I hope he's listening. Happy birthday to Shane. We hope you had a wonderful birthday. And today on Netflix, Clint Bentley, who we got to interview years ago when Jockey was coming out,
Yes.
and Greg Kuidar, who also worked with Clint on Jockey. They got the new movie out now on Netflix. It's called Train Dreams and it's excellent. I just watched it today and it was very, 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 very good. Joel Edgerton
Hey.
is very good. Very proud to see them working so hard. And it's crazy to think that we just talked to them years ago and now they're still pumping out amazing, beautiful content. So go check out Train Dreams on Netflix. So those are some of my announcements and also happy anniversary to my love Dylan.
Oh,
We were
that's.
away. That's why we had a small break.
But we are back now as we head into the end of the year. And we're pretty excited because we got a lot of good stuff coming today. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about Edgar Wright's newest interpretation of Stephen King's The Running Man with Glenn Powell. Probably one of my favorite movies of the year. Or
Ooh, okay.
not one of my favorites, my most anticipated movies of the year. Then we'll
Yeah.
be going into some film news and then talking about what's coming up next on the podcast. But enough for
hmm
me. Let's get right into the news.
This is CNN.
All right, so the news on this episode of the podcast, we start off with my news story. So, Kristen, do you love cheese or le fromage, as the French would say?
I enjoy cheese. I'm a cheese connoisseur.
So, today, in a statement to the Hollywood Reporter, the Parmigiano Reggiano Consortium has declared that the United Talent Agency has signed the King of Cheese's company to get even more placement in films and TV shows worldwide to ensure Parmigiano will remain on everyone's minds and potentially stomachs.
Oh, I mean, hey, more cheese. Hey, I'll
So
work
this,
with that.
so this is a big news story. Like you always hear about deals like, hey, this person signed on for a talent deal and everything. Like, we have cheese signing a talent deal. Like, come on, that is awesome.
Do you have a favorite cheese related movie?
Uh, uh, is there cheese related movies? I like cheese. I like a cheese related episode of Codename Kids Next Door, where it's like a
Well,
cheese. It's like a Kill Bill parody of cheese.
like I guess that involves maybe a dish with cheese.
I don't know.
Movies
I like
that
Camp Lazlo's
involve
episode where Scoutmaster Lupus was trying to eat the cheese. It was like a poisonous Indian cheese wheel.
movies that involve cheese. Let's see. Oh, The Godfather.
Oh, there you go. Well, it's not about the cheese. Like I'm talking about
Yeah,
movies
there's
and
cheese
cheese.
in it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then some, of course, Ratatouille. That was just in Disney, of course, but I'm not really a Ratatouille fan.
How dare you?
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. There's the central plot
Oh
point
yeah,
involving
the
the
cheese touch.
cheese touch.
But you can't eat the cheese, even though that's what happened in that movie. But we don't talk about that.
Yes, The Godfather. I can't believe I forgot about that. And yeah. But anyways, I have my news story. I feel like we should talk about Wake Up Dead Man because the new movie is coming out very, very soon. I got to see it, and I hope you get to see it too, Mac. This is coming from Deadline. Wake Up Dead Man team doesn't see Knives Out as a franchise, has no plans for a Bet LeBlanc prequel, excuse me. There's no big picture. So this is coming, like I said, coming from Deadline. Although Rian Johnson's original whodunit film has spawned a trilogy, he and producing partner Ram Bergman are insistent to call Knives Out a franchise. During Monday's premiere of Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out trilogy, Bergman told Deadline there's no big picture when it comes to the Netflix murder mystery films, each starring Daniel Radcliffe as a private investigator, Bennett Blanc. We don't really look at it as a franchise. We're looking at it as each movie on its own, he said on the red carpet at the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures, and doesn't feel any different than working on any other movie with Rain. Bergman continued, the idea is feeling like before every movie. Does this movie feel dangerous? Does this movie feel like a risk? Because if it's not, what's the point of doing it? And again, I don't think we're looking at it as a franchise. We're looking at it as how can we make something different than the first two? And how can
Okay.
we make
Okay.
it something really good and
Oh my
special? That's
God.
it.
What
It's
a
a very
fuck.
long
What a
quote.
what a cop. Listen, you can't be like, we don't look at this as a franchise sequel, proceeds to make three movies, not the same guy. But you're like, I get because you're gonna be like the Murder in Orient Express, but it's like it's an anthology series with the same character pretty much. Like just say it's it's a franchise. But you don't want to be you don't want to go against you want to go against the grain and say, we're not a franchise. We're
Yeah,
different than that.
it is a franchise though. It's the central character. Like I don't see, maybe I'm taking this looking at this quote any other way, but I like how, you know, I think they see the point of like what how is this different from the rest? How are we going to make it stand out from this one to this one to this one? So I'll agree with that. But I think they need to take a break after these Knives Out movie. I think three should have been like a staple, or at least, I could watch, as many Bet LeBlanc movies, these Rain Johnson movies for a while. I'm not really a fan of the first one. I really like the sequel, and the third one was also really, really, really good. But it also says in this article a fourth movie could be in store, but I think not Daniel, Rain does have plans to work on other things. I don't think, you know, Knives Out is the first thing he has on his mind because he's just been so busy working on all those films for the last couple of years, and I think Netflix is really pushing him that, but they could just say, screw it, we'll hire somebody else since we own the rights to Knives Out. So,
Well, I mean, look at it. That's probably Netflix's one property that's like their mainstay since they want to do a lot of their own properties. So that's the one
yeah.
they can like, oh, Knives Out. It's a Netflix thing because
Yeah,
I
I
still like the
mean,
first one. I still like the first one. I thought the second one was a little crazy, but I like the second one a lot. I've not seen the third one yet because I'm not in a rush to see the third one.
yeah, the third one I got to see at the Montclair Film Festival and I really enjoyed it. So it is going to play in theaters like how they did the sequel, and they'll put it out on Netflix, I think December 12th, I think it was the date. Let me double check so you all know, but I believe it's December 12th. Where did my calendar go? All right, we'll just look at my phone. I think it's December 12th, but
Okay.
we'll just say December 12th. Yep, it is December 12th. Okay, I said that like four times. All right, then moving on to the next discussion. Mac, do you have another news story?
Yeah, this is my last news story. This one makes me sad. So, being a big
Uh-oh.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, it was reported earlier this year that we were going to get a live action adaptation of the Ronin story, which is them, or no, this is from last year. They're going to do an R-rated live action adaptation of the last Ronin comic. Um, from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the director Ilya Naishuller from Nobody Was a Toxic Direct. But it was real. Paramount has canceled the project in terms of a new uh, direction for a live action property, which made me a little sad because I like the story because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started off as really dark and gritty, but then they got cartoonified and it's worked for the last couple of years. But the Ronin comic was a really interesting um like return form. It was something different. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shit, bet. Rated R movie with the guy from Nobody doing a movie about this. This should be awesome. And then it got canceled and I was sad, but I am curious to see. I think Ninja Turtles is in a good spot right now. Mutant Mayhem was good last year. or 2 years ago. That was awesome. I can't wait
I
for the next
forgot that
one.
even came out. Oh my
That was
God.
awesome. And I know they're making plans for another live action movie. So,
Yeah.
but we'll see what happens with the Ninja Turtles. Like the thing with the Ninja Turtles that makes them a good IP is that no matter what, they'll always be popular, even if it's
I
a.
mean, I don't have a personal connection with the Ninja
I do.
Turtles. I know you do, and I know our wide audience does, but we'll see what happens. But I do like the fact you brought up that film from 2 years ago. That's crazy.
That was a
Wow.
good movie. I like that. I was not expecting that movie to be good either, but the animation was
No,
good.
I don't think a lot of people had faith in it.
It's like Transformers One. We thought it was gonna be bad, but we were wrong, and then we're like, please make a sequel.
What's the Transformers, that Transformers movie was last year too. Oh my God, what the heck? Alrighties, but I have a final piece of news because we've talked about Dwayne Johnson. I feel like almost every episode on this podcast now since Smashing Machine. But I have a news story coming up again from Deadline. Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt on Jungle Cruise sequel. I don't think so. Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt starred in 2021's Jungle Cruise, and there were rumors that a sequel was in development. However, with a new interview, the stars of the film based on the Disneyland attraction have seemingly confirmed that a follow-up movie might not be happening. I don't think so, Johnson and Blunt told EW's The Awardist podcast on the potential sequel. The Black Adam stars added, I think when Disney came under new leadership, they just shifted coming out of COVID. COVID shifted our business in a lot of ways. I think they looked at that property and thought we did it once, not sure if we should revisit it again, despite whether or not our chemistry was great. Blunt also added, they did not want to set sail again, and that's fine. The film, directed by Jane Colette Serra, is based on the Disney theme park attraction that opened in July of 1955 at Disneyland Anaheim, California. So, Mac, are you disappointed we're not getting a Jungle Cruise sequel?
I completely forgot that came out like 4 years ago too. That was like a post-COVID movie. Where like, oh shit, yeah, because it's like it was still that model of like we're gonna release it on Disney Plus and the theaters, and
Yes, you can
did
pay
it.
the 20-ish more bucks on Disney Plus, or you can see it in theaters, you know?
I remember when that came out, I was like, oh, this is an interesting movie because I was like, okay, it's just another rock movie, and I'm like, I never really knew anyone who was like, man, the Jungle Cruise, that's my ride right there. And I'm looking at it now. It didn't make that much money at the box
No,
office.
I don't
So
think
it's like
anybody cared about a Jungle Cruise movie. Nobody
it made
really.
$220.9 million out of a $200 million budget.
Okay, so nobody. I didn't think it really made that much for a Disney movie, and I'm sure that's not like Disney's standard numbers, like how they wanted to, or were hoping for a
So
comeback.
actually, the Jungle Cruise movie was the last one to do the premiere access one to pay for the access on Disney Plus. It was the last one to do that, so I think they say we ain't doing that
Uh,
anymore.
when did Mulan come out? Because that also did the
The
same.
month before, like a year before, I think.
Is it?
I think it says according to Wikipedia. I'm on the article.
Oh, okay, I believe you. Okay.
Yeah, it says
Yeah.
actually yeah, September 20th, 2020. September 2020. Um, Mulan was the first one to do it, so it was in
Okay.
September. Then it was Raya and the Last Dragon, and then Cruella and
Yes.
Black Widow,
Okay. Yes.
and
Okay.
then it
Now
was
I
Jungle
remember.
Cruise.
Yes. Okay. Now I remember. Because I thought, you know, my brain was thinking differently with all that. Okay. Wow. Okay. Because I was thinking, oh, Mulan was 2021, but no, it was 2020. But yeah, I didn't first of all, I didn't think there was a need for a Jungle Cruise movie, and that alone, like it's amazing how at least Blunt and Johnson were able to, like, I guess team up again for another movie now because they were in the Smashing Machine together. And now you could say both films didn't do well. Both Smashing Machine and
Well, this was Smash Machine did
Jungle
well
Cruise.
critically.
It did do well critically, but not financially with a box office return on both films.
Don't worry, he's
So,
got Jumanji to fall back on.
yeah, but Emily Blunt's not in Jumanji.
Well, she's got something else to worry about, so it's fine. She's got a
We'll
quiet
we'll
place,
have
another
to
quiet
work on
place.
another project that they find to be a box office success. So,
Yeah, quiet place.
Jungle Cruise fans, I'm sorry, your hearts are now broken. We are not getting a sequel.
I
Oh
don't think there
well.
was any Jungle Book fans that really stood
Jungle
out.
Book, there's Jungle Book fans,
I mean,
not
Jungle
Jungle.
Cruise.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's plenty of Jungle Book fans.
Well, Jungle
Um,
Cruise fans. Oh well.
I just
But
got to ride that for the first time in Disney. I
I,
never rode Jungle Cruise before.
I wrote
Because
it
I
when
toy
I was
one.
9, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a cute ride, but I don't
It's
think it
cute, but
was
it's not. It
needed
does
for a
not warrant a
movie.
fucking movie. Like, who's gonna be like,
Yeah,
I need to break. Like, it's different from a Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion, that's a whole ass horror movie to do. But Jungle Cruise,
yeah.
you can't really do that as a movie.
The one
That's
with Eddie
different.
Murphy is a good one. I'm gonna like my I liked that one as a kid. The newer one that came out with Jamie Lee Curtis and Tiffany Haddish, no. Like I think Haunted Mansion, if Disney really, really wanted to, if you really want to get a strong fan base on the Haunted Mansion, you need to make it rated R and do something so dark it chills our souls. Like get Robert Eggers or
That sounds
somebody.
terrible.
I mean, no, I mean, how fun that would be? Like a
Disney
dark.
would not do that.
I know they wouldn't, but I know deep down it would be so cool.
That's like one of
Okay,
the. That's like the horror the horror Winnie the Pooh movie. Just make it dark and edgy.
but no, but they can make it. Disney can make it stylistic and good.
I mean, yeah, like they tried that. It's called The Christmas Carol. Look how that worked out. It
Oh
killed the
yeah, well,
animation community.
oh.
But that's it for the news. Let's get into the topic and let's see if we can strap our boots on, cover our asses, and run with the Running Man.
Welcome to the Running Man. Survive, and you will walk away with $1 billion. Don't die for free.
You're special, Richard. You have what it takes to win this game.
Don't you get it? This game is rigged. I'm gonna come back here and burn this building down. I promise. That's the spirit.
The Running Man. Tickets on sale now. Only in theaters November 14.
Alrighties, guys, we are about to dive in into the world of Edgar Wright and talking his new film, The Running Man, the 2025 new film that is based on the book by Stephen King. And this, in my opinion, is definitely better than the Arnold Schwarzenegger film. Yes, this was a fun action movie that Edgar Wright directed, and I'm going to pull up my notes here. I'm sorry, guys, as now my internet browser just crashed on my end. Excuse me for 1 minute. Alrighties, The Running Man, y'all. I hope you all got to read the book, but in The Running Man, we have Glenn Powell, uh, Carl Gussman, we got Sean Hayes, Lee Pace, a huge, huge cast that joined Edgar Wright on this new journey, including the return of Michael Cera. As you may know, they worked together on Scott Pilgrim versus the world. Oh my God. So happy to see these two reconnect together. But in this movie, The Running Man, which just came out, a man joins a game show in which contestants are allowed to flee anywhere in the world and are pursued by hunters hired to kill them. Alrighties. Mac, you got to see this for your birthday. And I got to see it once I got back from my anniversary trip. I am so curious on your thoughts on The Running Man.
I saw this opening night the day after my
Yes, you
birthday.
did.
So
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I was excited for it. I like the original Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I don't care what anyone says. That is peak '80s nostalgia. It's fun. So I was excited to see what Edgar Wright was going to bring to the table with his version of Running Man. And the early reviews I was hearing for it, it was like, oh, like this is like kind of like a 7 out of 10, something like that. I was like, oh, okay. And I watched it, and I was going through it. And I'm like, okay, this is like 2 hours and like a 2 hour like some change movie. And I'm watching. I'm like, okay, like I'm getting what it's picking up, and then like after a while, it kind of like lost me for a bit. Like, and
I can see it.
I still felt like it was entertaining, but I felt like there was more to be had with it. But I don't get people who say that this was a bad movie. Like that's the thing I didn't get. Like when I was gonna review it, but I got sick, And then I
Hmm.
finally reviewed it. I gave it a B. I gave it a B. And I thought, like, kind of going over it, I was like, just looking at it as a whole, like what it is, like what it is going for, it's perfectly fine for what it is. And I think going to see this in IMAX with that energy and stuff like that, I liked it. And I'm a big Edgar Wright fan, so I was like, okay, some of this styling of this filmmaking makes sense for this movie. So like, I'm down with it.
Yeah, I agree with your rating and stuff. Well, I want to bring up too, I got to see footage of this at New York Comic Con, and they showed, I think it was about 12 minutes of the movie and like in different little chunks of it. And I remember the scenes when I saw it in IMAX. Like, thank you goodness I got to see this in IMAX before they pulled it before Wicked. So, yes, getting to see this in IMAX was so thrilling, and I was so happy to see an Edgar Wright film in IMAX. And I think this was a better movie than Last Night in Soho. This one felt more I want to say theatrical in a way, where we get all the fun, stylistic stuff from Edgar Wright. Like, I think the best theatrical experience I had from an Edgar Wright film was definitely Baby Driver, but I thought Running Man was still good. Running Man was very, very good. But I think it also stays true to more to the source material than, like, I mean by the book by Stephen King, than the 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger flick. Um, but I did enjoy it. Do I have some issues with minor little things? Yeah, but I think it was fun. The way I see this as the same way I enjoyed Mickey 17. So if you know my thoughts on Mickey 17, you know my reviews on that. But this was also a good, I think, adaptation that I've seen this year. But it is different. The ending in this film is different from slightly different. They make some changes to the ending than the book. Like, I know some people talked about it, but I will also want to say I enjoyed the movie more than the book. I know people like to say that. They're like, oh, the book is better. No, I can say when a book is not as good, better than the movie. This is a time where I think the movie was better. So, and I just, that could be because I'm also an Edgar Wright fan and I enjoyed his visionary style and work coming to life. So,
Well, I know people
man,
right now they're saying that it's an improvement of the original because, like, listen, the original one was just felt like an 80s type action film, but I still think it has that charming with it. And I think trying to compare that and this one to each other isn't fair because I feel like they're both doing separate things. Like for this one, like I like Glenn Powell in this movie. I know that's one of the things I saw people were iffy about with this movie.
I saw some people say like Glenn Powell can't get angry. And I'm like, no, I was like, this man can get angry. You're just not watching the right materials. And this is like one that shows his anger and his range. Is it he's playing action boy hero. He's
Yeah,
playing like, it's not it's a fun role. It's one that he's not, well, he's taking the part seriously, but a role you can't really take seriously, you know? And I enjoyed his performance. I thought he played a good Ben Richards because when I was reading the book, I was picturing Glenn Powell like more in my head, like seeing how this was going to play out than like the Arnold Schwarzenegger because, I read the book, then watched Arnold's movie, and then got to see Running Man. And I fixed thought in my head as I was reading the book, all right, Glenn Powell did the better job of bringing Ben Richards to life and showing his expressions and his character intentions. And I love the way he was whenever the little camera that was following him, that little orb, like he had this energy that I can't even describe on the tip of my tongue, but it's like, I don't know. You know when he was giving the finger to the camera?
stop filming me!
Yes. Yes.
Like I'm still alive, you shit eaters.
Mm-hmm.
Which
He
that
had
gave me
that
a smile.
energy.
Yeah, it was like good energy that was like okay, like he's the guy you want to see survive the full 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah.
I will say that I think the movie. has a pacing issue, definitely, because I feel like
Hmm.
leading up to the start of The Running Man, the film is very slow because you're establishing everything with like him and his wife and their kid that's sick and everything, and kind of like the world they're in, the Tartarian and everything like that. And I feel like once The Running Man starts, that's when the movie starts to get very interesting.
I think I'm gonna come to bat and I'll say that I don't mind the opening to Running Man, the newer one, because it is setting up the issue where Ben Richards, he's having this family crisis and issue, his wife, you know, is dealing with, her job, and then the baby is so sick, they establish the baby is sick in the book as well. So they get to explore that more here because that's not explored in the 80s one. This one it is. So I think giving his character a little more depth to that than having saying, oh, this is my family, yada yada yada. It adds a little bit more on why he needs this money and why he's just basically, you know, going into this game show. I almost said contest, it's a game show. Um, but yeah, I liked that, but I do agree with the pacing issues. I think this could have been a solid 90, like,
Yeah, I
100 minute,
felt
less than 100-minute movie,
adding an extra hour kind of like took me out of it a little bit, especially if like they're like, you gotta survive a full 30 days. And like near the end, he was only at day 16. Like, okay, so this is not going to full 30 days. So I
I
was like,
think for me it falls like a little clustery when
yeah,
we get the Amelia Williams character, Amelia Jones. She's the girl who Ben takes hostage in the
yeah,
plane.
I know, yeah.
I think her character, I have nothing wrong with her character at all. I just
I kind
think,
of did. I was like, that was part of the movie where I'm like, okay, I get what you're trying to say with a little too social messagey with everything because the movie has this moments where it's like it's trying to tell you like big corporation bad, we're the little guys. They're gonna try to like, it's like because there's multiple things of like he says because he has to send in tapes to like
yeah.
say like you're live and everything, and like the stuff that he says is getting deep faked out because it's like that's not good ratings and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and like it's kind of like a scene in the car with Amelia. He's like, "Oh, you can't judge me because you don't know what it's like." Blah blah blah. Okay, we're getting a little too on the nose, guys. Like, I think her part was like, "Okay, do we really need to have this in the movie?" Like, I mean, she was part of a joke because she's watching the Americanos that he was watching the whole time in the movie he was starting to get attached to.
That's obviously a spoof to the
I was
Kardashians.
gonna say,
So
yeah, I thought it was Real Housewives actually.
I don't know. My mind immediately went to Kardashians, but Amelia Williams is a character in the book. So, but I won't talk about what the ending is different from the book because I do not want to spoil it if you guys want to read the book. But one person I want to say that also stands out in this movie is also Michael Cera. I think he is such a scene stealer, and I love how they made his character. Like he seems like a small character in the book, but they made him such a big part in the movie that I really liked his character a lot. And I was so sad what happens to his character, but I enjoyed seeing Glenn and Michael together. Like that scene where they're in like the what is that, the bunker? Like, a hideout from everybody,
It was like
and
yeah,
they have the
bunker, yeah,
mom.
yeah.
I really liked that. I also enjoy Coleman Domingo,
No,
but
Chloe Domingo was the best part of this movie. He was
it was
like,
great. He was
he,
great.
I know he was at Comic Con too, and he was like, people were like, he's like gonna be the best part of the movie, and like his energy is like awesome as a game show host.
Lee Pace was also very good. I enjoyed him. I
Uh,
think he's really good. But Josh Brolin, it was no
what a year
surprise
for
that
him.
it's no surprise that he was going to play the villain. It's like the man can play a good villain, whether he's in a superhero movie or in a drama or an action movie, he's going to be such a good bad guy because he knows how to convey it. I think he likes playing bad guys. You think? because everybody
But
knows him
the
as Thanos.
the
As
thing I, the
Thanos.
thing that was like I liked him as a villain, but it's like the thing that was kind of getting me annoyed was that some of the writing felt a little off because near the end, I'm not gonna spoil it. There's the thing where it's like something happens where it's like, okay, why would the character believe that this is real when they've established to use like technology to make fake footage like that? So why would you believe that to have this happen? You know?
I could see that, but I'm not surprised this movie uses at least an AI component since we are living in the world of AI, so I'm not surprised they would incorporate that, you know, in the movie. But um I don't have any extreme issues, but I with it, but it's not like I don't want to call it a B movie, even though I'm giving it a B grade because I know this is not a B movie.
This felt very tamed back. That's what everyone kept saying. Like this is not. This isn't like. This felt like a very tamed back Edgar Wright film. Like this felt like more of a Sony film than it did a. Or not like yeah. I felt like more of like a Sony Pictures movie than it was like a Running Man movie or like an Edgar Wright movie.
I do think though it's a good film from Edgar Wright. Is it his best film? No.
No,
No, he's done better. And I think I'm at least what I've read from the book and I saw the final presentation here. I was pretty pleased. The only other disappointing part I have about this movie is the score and the music choices
that's what I'm
that
saying. It does not feel like that because it's been more
because
score,
yeah,
more. I mean, editing would have been more tight with the music and everything. Like this feels not Sony. I'm at Paramount. This feels like a more studio heavy film than it was like because I'm sure Edgar Wright loves the book, so that's why he wanted to do this.
yeah, he said he how much he adored the book.
But I feel like
Uh and
they didn't
you
give
know
him enough control for this. That's my problem. That's why I
I
feel like
think
it's
they
happening.
did because here with the soundtrack, when I want to go back to Stephen Price, who has worked with Wright before on films, and he's actually working on Coyote versus Acme.
That's funny.
But he's worked with uh, Edgar Wright on World's
Baby
End,
Driver, yeah.
Baby Driver, which is my favorite score, and Last Night in Soho. It doesn't feel like the score in this really stands out. It felt like the movie didn't really add much of an emphasis when the action scenes hit, when the score was used and utilized in the scenes to bring the tension. And I'm kind of disappointed by that. And Edgar Wright knows how to incorporate unique songs. I mean, look at the soundtrack to Baby Driver, even in The World's End. But I just don't think that the song choices that he used here were that were good. Like,
They
or
didn't
at
stand
least
out. Like there could have been more better choices put to really be like, this is an action like adventure movie, chase movie.
yeah. I mean, maybe the next soundtrack would be better because to be honest, I'm not a fan of Last Night in Soho. At least the Last Night in Soho music was important to that because of the character of Anya Taylor
Joy.
Joy. Thank you. Because, the character, with that and, some of the scenes that she had. I felt like the soundtrack was better in that than in this one. So I I was kind of disappointed by that. So uh soundtrack kind of let down by it, but I'm not let down by the action scenes. I'm not let down by the casting choice. I think it's due to the story's execution and its pacing and like I said, the soundtrack. But yeah, for what it was in the end, I'm very pleased. I was really hoping this was going to make my top 10 of the year, but unfortunately it's not. But I will be watching whatever Edgar Wright does once again, and I think it's interesting what the movie explores and says about the end with, what they're putting out there in the audience, you know, having higher people control what we watch. Can say that now with our climate in the world. But I just like that. It was just some interesting things that they had played out here. But um I'm giving it a B. What about you, Mac?
I mentioned it earlier, B.
Yes, you did.
Cut it down by an hour, add a little bit more flavor to it, and I think this is probably scraping like honorable mentions, maybe high, like 11 or 12, but definitely not my top 10.
No, no. But yeah, that's what my thought is on The Running Man. I just wish I had it was I felt like it was so promised to be like the action movie of the year, but it's not.
Well,
But it was good. It was good. But I'm very happy I got to see it in IMAX because the scenes that I got to see in IMAX looked really, really good. So
but Kristen, if that's it for The Running Man and we survived these 30 days and 30 nights, what do we have coming up for the next episode?
all right, next episode, we're getting into the holiday spirit. Thanks to the Jonas Brothers, we are talking a very Jonas Christmas movie, which just came out the same day as The Running Man. And ironically, in the movie, Joe Jonas has a line about Glenn Powell. So, haha. We'll talk more about that in our next episode as you eat your Thanksgiving dinner and listen to us talk about a very Jonas Christmas movie. We also have another surprise in store. We're also going to have our Christmas episode coming up, which we're going to talk about. Mac, would you like to reveal the Christmas movie for our holiday special this year?
We're going to be talking about the Robert Zemeckis Christmas Carol movie. Yes, the Victorian era that's generally fucking terrifying, but I still love it. That's probably my favorite Robert Zemeckis motion capture movie. Let me rephrase. I was my favorite movie he's made. I'm like, nope, guys, Back to the Future. But nope, the Jim Carrey one. We'll get to that. That'll be our Christmas movie.
And then we're going to close out the year with Guillermo del Toro's film Frankenstein. So we have some exciting episodes as we close out 2025. Can you believe we're about to hit the end of the year, Mac?
No.
It's crazy. But we want to thank you all so much for listening and tuning in. We appreciate you all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you stream podcasts, and follow us on social media. All of our links will be provided down below. And wish our boy Mac, hoping he feels better. Send all that love in the chat. We hope, Mac, you feel better soon. And yeah, am I missing something, Mac? Do we need to thank our lovely patrons?
Yep, thanks to them too, but this has been another episode of the M&K Productions Podcast.
Oh.
I've been back. It's been Kristen. Listening. We'll see you all next time. Peace.
Bye, as I wave as we're recording.